And Elisha the Nebai called one of the sons of the Nebaim, and said to him, Gird your loins, and take this flask of oil in your hand, and go to Ramoth Gilead, and you shall go there, and look there for Yahu son of Jehoshaphat, son of Nimshi, and go in and make him rise up from among his brothers, and take him in the inner room, and take the flask of oil, and pour it on his head, and say, Thus said Yahweh, I have anointed you sovereign over Israel. Then you shall open the door and flee, and do not wait. So the young man the Nebai, went to Ramoth Gilead, and came in and saw the commanders of the army sitting. And he said, I have a message for you, O commander. And Yahu said, For which one of us? And he said, For you, commander. And he rose up and went into the house, and he poured the oil on his head, and said to him, Thus said Yahweh, Elohim of Israel, I have anointed you sovereign over the people of Yahweh, over Israel. And you shall smite the house of Ahab your master, and I shall avenge the blood of my servants, the Nebaim, and the blood of all the servants of Yahweh, at the hand of Isabel. And all the house of Ahab shall perish, and I shall cut off from Ahab all the males in Israel, both those shut up and those left at large. And I shall give up the house of Ahab, like the house of Jerubbaal son of Nebat, and like the house of Baasha son of Ahiah. And the dogs are going to eat Isabel in the portion of Yisrael, with none to bury her. Then he opened the door and fled. And Yahu came out to the servants of his master. And one of them said to him, Is there peace? Why did this madman come out to you? And he said to them, You know the man and his talk. And they said, A lie. Reveal it to us now. So he said, Thus and thus. He spoke to me, saying, Thus said Yahweh, I have anointed you sovereign over Israel. And they hurried, and each one took his garments, and put it under him on the top of the steps. And they blew the ram's horn, saying, Yahu reigns. Thus Yahu son of Jehoshaphat, son of Nimshi, conspired against Joram. Now Joram had been guarding Ramoth Gilead, he and all Israel, against Hazael, sovereign of Aram. But sovereign Yahuram had returned to Israel to recover from the wounds with which the Arameans had smitten him, when he fought against Hazael, sovereign of Aram. Yahu now said, If this is your desire, let no one leave or escape from the city to go and make it known in Yisrael. And Yahu rode in on a chariot and went to Yisrael. For Joram was laid up there, and Ahijah, sovereign of Yehudah, had come down to see Joram. And a watchman stood in the tower in Yisrael, and he saw the company of Yahu as he came, and said, I see a company of men. And Yahuram said, Get a horseman and send to them, and let him say, Is there peace? And the horseman went to meet him, and said, Thus said the sovereign, Is there peace? And Yahu said, What have you to do with peace? Turn around and follow me. And the watchman spoke, saying, The messenger went to them, but is not coming back. Then he sent a second horseman, who came to them, and said, Thus said the sovereign, Is there peace? And Yahu answered, What have you to do with peace? Turn around and follow me. And the watchman spoke, saying, He went up to them, and is not coming back. And the driving is like the driving of Yahu, son of Nimshi, for he drives madly. Then Yahuram said, Hitch up, and his chariot was hitched up. And Yahuram, sovereign of Israel, and Ahijah, sovereign of Yehudah, went out, each in his chariot. And they went out to meet Yahu, and met him on a portion of Naboth the Israelite. And it came to be when Yahuram saw Yahu, that he said, Is there peace, Yahu? But he answered, What peace? As long as the horns of your mother Isabel and her witchcraft are so many. Thereupon Yahuram turned his hands around and fled, and said to Ahijah, Treachery, O Ahijah. And Yahu drew his bow, and shot Yahuram between his arms. And the arrow came out at his heart, and he sank down in his chariot, and said to Bakar his officer, Take him up and throw him in the portion of the field of Naboth the Israelite. Remember how you and I were riding behind Ahab his father, and Yahweh lifted up this pronouncement against him. Have I not seen the blood of Naboth and the blood of his sons last night, declares Yahweh? And I shall repay him in this portion, declares Yahweh. And now take up, throw him in the portion according to the word of Yahweh. And Ahijah, sovereign of Yehudah, saw this, and fled the way to Beth Hagan. And Yahu pursued him, and said, Smite him too in the chariot, at the Axen of Gur, which is by Yiblam. and he fled to Megiddo and died there. Then his servants conveyed him in the chariot in Jerusalem, and buried him in a tomb with his fathers in the city of David. And in the 11th year of Joram son of Ahijah began to reign over Yehudah. And Yahu came to Yisrael, and Isabel heard of it, and she put paint on her eyes, and adorned her head, and looked through a window. And as Yahu came to the gate, she said, Is it peace, Zimri, slayer of your master? And he lifted up his face to the window and said, Who is with me? Who? And 3 eunuchs looked down to him. And he said, Throw her down. And they threw her down, and some of her blood splattered on the wall and on the horses. And he trampled her underfoot. And he went in, and he ate and drank, and said, And now see to this cursed one, and bury her, for she was the sovereign's daughter. So they went to bury her, but all they found of her was the skull and the feet and the palms of her hands. And they came back and informed him, and he said, This is the word of Yahweh, which he spoke by his servant Eliyahu the Tishbite, saying, In the portion of Israel, dogs are going to eat the flesh of Isabel, and the courts of Isabel shall be as dung on the surface of the field, in the portion of Israel, so that they do not say, This is Isabel.